Tay. Let's see. All right, y'all. I got my life together. Third time's the charm. YouTube did not want to let this happen, okay? It kept telling me live stream unavailable, and I said the devil is a lie. We gonna live stream today. All right, sorry, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, it's your girl, Coach Tuka. I want to welcome you to my corner of these YouTube streets where I pop out every single day at 4 p.m. ish Central Standard Time to walk as many women as I possibly can through their journey of losing weight and looking and feeling their best. So if you are the woman who's tired of looking in the mirror, who's wondering, Harper, who is this lady looking back at me and where did she come from? All right. If you try to figure out how did we get here, okay, and it's more than a Deborah Cox song to you, all right, I want you to know you're in the right place. If you have a desire to lose weight, I want to assure you that it is easier than you think, and you can do it without losing your mind and without doing all the wild and crazy stuff they're doing on the internet. And if you want to know how I know, let me tell you. So, first of all, 5 years ago, I was 80 pounds heavier than I am today. I also had debilitating menstrual cycles, severe. Debilitating is a nice word for it. If you ever had it, you know what I'm talking about. Severe anemia, ocular migraines, high blood pressure, extreme fatigue, sugar addiction, fibroids that were so large that they were moving in my stomach. It was rough, y'all. Okay. It was really rough. So I had no energy. I was a high school teacher. I taught ninth grade social studies at that period in my life. I would go to school and give the children the best I got. Okay. And come home. First of all, I would drive through somebody's drive through, then come home and get myself in the bed. When I say I was worn out, frustrated, really ready to change, it wasn't because I wasn't trying. I was doing everything that I know to do. And hoping and wishing and praying and asking the Lord to help me. Whole time wondering if I'm ever going to get my body back, if I'm ever going to get my confidence back, if I'm ever going to be healthy again. And so I sit before you today as a living, breathing testimony that by the grace of God, a lot of prayer, working on your mindset, accountability, and restructuring your life, you too can find your way back to you. Hey, Michelle. So now I get the blessed opportunity. I no longer teach ninth grade social studies. I get the blessed opportunity to help women every single day lose weight for good. And again, without doing all the crazy diets and pills and shots and fasts and craziness that we see on the internet. So if this sounds like your kind of party, somewhere you want to be, baby, I'm gonna need you to subscribe. Okay. I'm gonna need you to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you get notified, because notice I said 4 p.m. ish. Okay. So also make sure you like this video. And if anything I say today blesses you, make sure you share this with somebody else who needs a reminder that I don't care what it look like, how far they gone, it's never too late. Hey, Miss Dorothy, it's never, never, never too late. All right. So listen, here's what I want to talk about today. Last week we talked about standards. Okay. So I never know, it's always Holy Spirit. What shall I talk about today? Okay. And so I was thinking back to a time not so long ago, probably about 7 or 8 months ago. I have a friend whose husband I am going to call him an outdoorsman. Okay. He's just a dude who knows how to hunt. Okay. He knows how to, hit the target. And I had made a promise. I saw her out and I said, the next time I come your way, I need your husband to take me to the range because I've never been before. And it is an experience that I want to try. So just reflecting on that, it was one of the most fun times I've ever had in my life. I never would have thought that this would be a great idea of fun. So here's what God gave me today. I'm gonna bring y'all into the range, but this the weight loss range, okay? So here's what I want to say. The first thing that I thought this morning that helped me to know this is what I wanted to talk about today was there's always a target, right? So the first mistake that I see a lot of women make is we have a target in our mind, right? So for me, my target was 50 pounds. And the first thing I want you to know is that there's always a target. So I feel like God does this with us. God says, okay, you want to lose 50 pounds? If that's what's going to get you in the lab and get you started, we'll roll with that, okay? But once you reach that target, there's always another target, right? So then it's 50, and then it's 80, and then it's whatever God will do. And then it's better sleep, and then it's more muscle, and then it's being able to do a pull-up, and then it's being able to love God's food, and it'd be your default meal, and it's drinking your water. There's always a target. So the truth is, we're never not done, right? So you might be here today. Hey, Miss Annette, you may be here today because you want to hit a target. All right. All of us in our mind, okay, have some remembrance of the woman we used to be. Okay. We know what it looked like when that thing was doing what it did. Okay. We remember when we was a brick house. Okay. And how can we lose with the stuff we use? I don't know who measurements those was they gave in the song, but we remember what that was like. So some of us create a target based on that. Like if I could just get back to my, what do you say, 36, 24, 36, what went in or whatever. She's a brick. Oh, stay focused, took a house. Okay, stay focused. I'm just saying, some of us create our target from that. Some of us say, I remember what the thing used to look like when it was cute, and I want that back. All right. Some of us look at other people and say, I like what she got going on, and I want to do that. There's always going to be a target. Okay. So what I'm trying to say here is your success is dependent on your ability to hit the mark. There will always be a target. So it's not just getting the thing that you're focused on. So it's not just the 50 pounds, because after the 50 pounds, there's another target. Even if the target is just keeping the 50 pounds off, there's always going to be another target. All right. So it's going to depend on you being the type of woman who can hit the target, who can hit the mark. Okay. So on the way, here's what's happening that's creating the frustration for you. You shooting every day. Okay. You out here shooting every day, but you're missing the mark. You are missing the mark. So the first thing I want you to remember, and if you don't remember nothing else I say, I want to say your life is nothing more than daily target practice. And I want you to notice, because I don't want you to look at nobody else and be like, she know what she doing, because we have a tendency to do that. We got a woman who, baby, look like she know how to raise those kids. Okay. She's the perfect wife with the perfectly neat house and decor and all the things. She a snazzy dresser. Baby, she know how to accessorize some things. Okay. So we look at other people, and what I know to be true is you look at other people and you think that they have something you don't. And all I want to tell you is the woman that you see winning, all she does is train harder than you do. All right? That's all she does is train every single day. All right? So she's a good shooter and she hits the mark because she trains every single day. So I thought about my experience. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. It was a wild experience when we went to this range. It was amazing and wild. But I remember walking in the room and feeling like I'm never going to be able to get comfortable because all these noises in here is too much for me. It's a bit overwhelming, okay? But once I really calmed down and allowed my friend's husband to coach me on what I was going to do, here's what I learned from the day that I want you to take into your daily target practice of losing weight, okay? So the first thing that we did this day, he didn't just hand me a weapon and I'm just out here pulling the trigger, okay? He told me, here is where we're going to aim. This is the target. So the woman that you see that's excellent, okay, like a sniper, she don't just walk in there hoping that she hits something, okay? She walks in and she knows exactly where it's supposed to land. So here's what we do in our weight loss journey. We talked about this last week. We ain't got a target. What's your target? Where is it supposed to land? So we'll be out here saying, I'm trying to get it together. I know I need to do better. All right. But what does that really mean? What does that really mean? Does that mean you're going to stop eating sugar today? Every second of the day, all day long? Does it mean you're going to walk 30 minutes every single day? Does it mean you're going to actually drink all of your water? Does it mean you're going to go to bed on time? Does it mean you're going to actually eat vegetables today? What does it mean? So the point I'm trying to make is the woman you see winning has identified clearly what she wants. No ambiguous language, no in-between language where you kind of sort of want to lose weight. If you lose 5 pounds, you've lost weight. Okay. If you lose 1 pound, you've lost weight. Was that the goal? All right. So you have to say, here is my target. I recommend when you're new to this, you don't set a target way back. They have these little things that move the target forward and backwards. For us, the target was close. When it was my instructor's turn, he pushed that thing way back because he's more experienced. All right. So some of us are setting these, I want to lose 125 pounds. I'm going to fast for 95 days. Right. And I'm saying you need a clearly identifiable target that you can actually hit at the level that you are today. So this is why the spirit of comparison messes you up. There are some people that you watch them do what they do. And if you're going to try to go do what they do, you're going to hurt yourself, okay? I know people who run 8 and 9 minute miles, okay? I love it. I cheer for them all the time. I cheer for them all the time. And one day, if the Lord is willing, maybe I'll be able to do a 9-2. I can do a 9 something. I have to push really, really, really hard. It's very uncomfortable. Okay? 8. Can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It's just never happened in my lifetime. Okay? It has never happened in my lifetime. So I'm just saying, when you compare yourself to someone else and where they are, and you decide where you want to be based on where somebody else is, you don't even know if you can handle that just yet. So I'm saying set a target that you can hit within reason, okay? Here's the other thing I learned that day when we went to the range. After every shot, we made an adjustment, all right? So in our life, here's what we do. Okay, so first of all, here's what we did. If we took the shot that day and we missed it, we didn't say, you know what, that's it, pack everything up, we're going home. Okay? He showed me how to do things like, look at how things are placed, check your grip, check where your fingers are pointing, stand different, make some adjustments. He literally showed me how to study the reason that I missed. He said, no. So the problem was you leaned over here. You need to kind of be more, be like this, put your hand like this, put it right here. Okay, now focus. Here's where you look. He gave me adjustments. You got to do the same thing. While you at this daily target practice of life, okay? If you have a rough day, we ain't gonna pack it up and throw the week away. All right? You miss one meal, you say, you know what? The day is it's over. Just let me do what I want to do today. Let's just pack it up and go home. So the mistakes you make are feedback for you to get better. It's like, okay, I didn't hit the target. What happened here that made me miss? What adjustments do I need to make? So in your life, maybe it looks like I don't do mealtime with certain people. Maybe it looks like I need to move my body before I do anything. Maybe I don't let the day happen before I decide to move my body. Because it looks like when the day happens and I say I'm going to move my body later, I don't get back around to it. Maybe there are some people in this season who will get no's from me because there will be too many things on my plate. Maybe there's some things on my plate that are getting in my way. Maybe all these doggone Oreos and chips and whatever else around the house is messing me up. Maybe the fact that somebody went to the store, bought a cake and set that thing right there on the kitchen table for all to see every time they walk by. What adjustments need to be made? So you don't, what happens when you say, I already blew today, I'm gonna start fresh tomorrow. Start fresh tomorrow. What? Do you think that something's gonna change in the morning? You have to make adjustments. You have to say, okay, here's what happened, and here's why it happened. Apparently, when I'm with my friends, baby, I lose my mind and get to kiki so much, I forget that we eating. I don't know. Give me some, y'all. I forget we eating things I'm not supposed to have. We eating cake. Okay, because everybody else is drinking cake and they got the dessert with the ice cream on top. So me too. So maybe the adjustment is I'm more discerning about who I do mealtime with in the season. Because we have a terrible habit of thinking because we're doing something in the season, that means it's going to be like that for the rest of your life. You think because right now I need to get my friends know about meal times, that I'm never going to be able to have a good time in life. Trick of the enemy. Lies the devil will tell you. Lies your enemy will tell you. And so you out here like, oh, I'm never going to be able to have. No, God is doing a thing. And so in order to experience something new, you got to be willing to let some things go. And you got to be willing to make adjustments. This is how you get better. So that woman you're looking at that you like, oh, she knows how to take care of kids. I bet you she done yelled at them and did some introspective thinking. I bet you she done yelled at them kids and went to a prayer closet and said, Lord, help me. How do I do this? And came up with a strategy to not do that. I got to find this song. There's a gospel song. It's a rap. And when I hear it, I quoted it so many times, and I can't remember what song it is. But in the song, he says, they don't see you. They only see you on the mountain. They don't see you on the climb. And that's what we do. We think that because of somebody made it, that it was it must be, they must got something I don't, because I'm down here and they up there. They made it. I'm still trying to make it. Having no idea that daily decisions, adjustments, challenges, perseverance, diligence, discipline, prayer, accountability, community, that it took, coaching, that it took for them to get there. So you have to be willing to adjust. So mistakes are not just oopsies. Oh, well, let's just keep rolling the way we rolling. He ain't let me do that not one time. He said, okay, no, listen, here's what we're going to do. Okay, stand like this, Took. He said, Took, you're not doing it right. So thank you very much, sir. That's why we picked you to come with us, okay? All right. So don't quit. Receive the feedback. Receive the feedback. All right. I think about, really, if you think about whatever it is you do for a living, I can think of two distinct places of employment that I had. In my former life, I used to be a claims adjuster, and then I was a high school teacher. Okay. In both of these professions, I received a great deal of training. None of my training, none of these certifications and courses that I took, and all the information that I learned about how to do the job made me great at doing the job. I remember when I started teaching high school, I let me say this. I taught in a very urban environment, okay? It could be unstable some days. It was, and to be honest, was the best school I ever worked at. Believe it or not. Best. People told me you will not like it there. They said the kids fight the teachers, the principal kind of wild. She got a lot of rules. You ain't gonna like it. Turned out those 5 years at that high school were the best years of my teaching career. And did we have wild and crazy stuff? We did. But I remember going into the classroom and saying, first of all, I'm only 5'2", in case this YouTube live makes me look taller than I am. People always are so surprised by how short I am. Okay? I'm not very tall at all. Okay? It's not hard to be taller than me. So I remember going into the school like, these kids are ginormous. They're going to eat me alive. So I had to pull out my inner gangster. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what we not going to do is beat up Miss James in here. So when I first started teaching, I had the mentality of like, this is my classroom. Okay? I run it and you run around in it. It worked. They knew not to play with me. But it made it hard to connect with my kids. It really did. It made it hard to connect with my kids. It made it really hard to connect with them. It made it difficult to have like sustained long-term relationships with them. You know what I'm saying? They would be glad to get up. I ain't even let the children go to the bathroom. My principal said, you ain't gotta let them go to the bathroom. I said, say less. No, you can't go to the bathroom. Wait till you get to your next block. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is I had to bump my head a whole lot to get really good. I made a lot of mistakes. And I realized, like, baby, going to work to do the thing that I love to do, this feel like an everlasting tussle. Okay? This feel like a little tussle right here. Lord, this what you sent me to do? And then I learned to develop the attitude that this is our classroom. And we get to decide what we want it to look like. And what I don't want it to look like is I got to feel like I'm going to fight you. Okay? So if you buck up at me like that, it makes me feel aggressive. Now we got aggression in the room. So let's just all be calm. I gave my students a grade, but guess what? My students gave me a grade too. Them jokers be like, Miss Jane, that lesson was not good. I'd be like, y'all didn't like it? What I do wrong? What I need to change? So I'm just saying, be willing to see the times you bump your head as feedback and use it to get better. Don't dig in right there doing the same thing that's messing you up. We so stubborn. We'll dig in deeper and try harder tomorrow because you think that willpower is the answer. All right. It's really feedback. All right. It's adjusting. Your entire day should be a series of planning and pivoting. That's the dance. You can plan the day all you want. I'm in the middle of planning for all the communities I serve in my life, planning the month of June. Hang with me, okay? Because I can put all this in the planner and color code it and highlight it, and I bet you it won't go. It won't go. Some ain't gonna go like what it looked like in my planner. So you have to be willing to pivot. You have to be willing to make adjustments all day long. And you don't get that when you say, oh, well, I'm going to just start again next week. All right. The next thing the sniper is doing is she not out here just firing wildly. Okay. She's not just firing every which way, hoping she hits something. Okay. Because what I learned is sometimes where you point ain't always where it goes. It's not always, it doesn't always go there. So the person that you see winning, they consistent, they intentional. Every shot matters. So in our life, this is what spraying it everywhere looks like. You from this detox to that detox. Now you intermittent fasting for 95 hours a day and then eating 3,500 35,000 calories when you get a chance to eat. You skipping meals, you counting carbs and calories and all these things. You got this supplement and that supplement, everything except for the stuff that hits the mark. That hits the mark. So I'm saying, slow down. Get in position. Because you doing too much. And missing the thing that makes all the difference in the world, and that is your focus. That's your focus. Literally. Because the way the world looks today, the devil don't even have to try hard to knock us off our pivot. We got squirrel brain like nobody's business. We all over the place. And you got to show up knowing it's a bunch of, it's like a carnival. He got the rides and the dings and this and the people hollering this over there and the cotton candy and the pralines and so many things. And you got to say, no, I'm going to stay right here. We don't know how to stay somewhere. We don't know how to just stay. We so quick to say, I tried it. It didn't work. You tried it for 2 minutes. How you know? How do you know? When you focus, you get more precise. And that's your superpower. Precision, doing the right things. My mentor used to say, how did he say? He used to say, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you could be working really hard, doing all the wrong things. It matters the effort that you put forth doing the right things. And when you do the right things, you ain't got to do as much. All right? The next thing she does is, it's a lot going on at the range. It's loud in there, y'all. You not in there by yourself. It was loud. There are other people in there. There are distractions. And the woman that hits the target don't flinch. She don't flinch. Me and my son have a thing we say to each other, lock in. We tell each other, lock in. She locks in. But you out here doing what your friend doing. You looking at reels. They got a new thing on TikTok. You got this program, that program. No focus. You're not at the range looking around the little wall they got to see what somebody else is doing. You're not trying to go across the range and hit their target. All right? But that's what happened when you worry about what they doing and looking up. You got to focus on your own target. You missing your own target looking at theirs. You missing your own target. Worry about somebody else. God probably told them to do something else. And you think God told you to. I have a really good friend that I met with today. And she's really good friend of mine. And she was just sharing some of the exciting things that she has gone on, that God is really moving in her life, got her doing. And truth be told, we partner well together. Holy Spirit did tell me one time, say, oh, we could do, that's what God, I already know what he told me to do in this season. And it wasn't that. It wasn't that. But I'm happy for her. And I'm so glad she is much needed work. So you got to know what's the business God told you to do. So this weight loss, I know you think it, but you just wake up like God is dealing with you about addressing it. Because a lot of us don't realize, my coach taught me this, that obesity is a chronic illness. When I realized that, I said, oh my God, today. So you telling me obesity and diabetes, both illnesses. Sure enough. You telling me obesity and high blood pressure, both illnesses. So there's a reason that God put it on your heart to deal with it. Stay focused on that. Don't worry about what nobody else. If they out here doing the, I know y'all remember this, the Atkins diet, the Mounjaro, Mamba, or the Ozempic Shuffle, mind your business. Mind your business. Everything that's for everybody ain't for you. Stop looking over there at them people's target. And I'm going to tell you this. A lot of times, here's what I learned. We get like 2 little pieces of knowledge and we think we're an expert, okay? So I remember when I started my journey, to say I was excited is an understatement, okay? Seriously, the way that I was getting results quickly and the results weren't just tied to weight, I wanted to tell everybody. And so what happened was I was sharing with all my friends, all my family. I was on Facebook Live. Like, we were in the pandemic. I ain't had nothing else to do, okay? I had time, okay? I'm on Facebook Live. I went on Instagram Tough at that point. It was really just Facebook Live. Maybe them people didn't want to hear nothing about it, okay? They didn't want to hear nothing about it. At this time, my coach was accessible. At this time, I could say to you, you need to talk to my coach. And then when you want to talk to her, I would call her, put y'all on a Zoom together, and she would teach you one-on-one. And we stopped that, okay? And so what one of at this time I was in a program put together by Eric Thomas, the #1 motivational speaker in the world. And we had these calls on Sunday where he would be on the calls. It was awesome, y'all. I was in just for the amount of accessibility to ET. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. Okay, when I looked at the offer stat and I saw Sunday calls with E, I was like, okay, how much is it? I'm in. I don't even care. I was like, Jodeci, take my money, my house, and my car. Okay, I was in. So I remember getting on a call with E, and what he said to me on that call changed my life forever. I stayed on the call, him and Han, okay? So I was on the call, and what I was saying to him is, I'm learning so many new things. And I want everybody that I know to experience what I am experiencing. However, I feel like I'm wasting my time because no one is interested. And it hurts my feelings. Like I'm trying to help, and essentially you don't want my help. It's a problem for me. And he said, let me tell you something. He said, you will never get to the spot trying to drag all these people with you. He said, you'll never make it. It's too heavy. He says, too much baggage and it's too heavy. He said, so here's what you do. Get to the spot. Get to the spot. And he said, once you get to the spot, they'll want to know what you did. But right now, don't worry about that. Don't tell nobody else. You don't need to. So what I learned in that moment is people follow your example before they ever follow your advice. So when you get this thing, you ain't got to say a word. The way you show up for training will speak more than you ever could. Your training speaks. Okay? You ain't got to tell them nothing. They gonna see it. They gonna see it. So stop looking at what they got going on, what they got going on. Go to work and hit the target. Stop worrying about what they got going on. All right? So the next thing the woman you see Winnie doing is she shows up to practice repeatedly. The reason why I am not an outdoors woman, is that a thing, or an expert marksman, is because I only went that one time. Okay? I only went that one time. But the woman who hits the mark, she'll just hit the bullseye one time and walk away talking about, I got it now. I know what I'm doing. Okay? I couldn't do that. She comes back. She keeps shooting. She gets better in her skills. So here's what it looked like in your life. You think, I did good this week. One good week. You think one good solid week? Boy, I did it. I went raw for 7 days. 1 week is good. Okay. 1 week of hitting the target will not give you a transformation. Which is the goal? The goal is to become unrecognizable. So it's not about one hit. It's about becoming the woman who can hit it every time. Not the person who can hit it once, but then when you go back, which will probably be me without an expert marksman over my shoulder. I did say I was going back. Because truth be told, if you be out there long enough, almost anybody can hit it one time. You luck up. You might hit the mark. Closest I've ever done to this in my hometown or where I live is axe throwing. And even in that, a couple of times I hit the bullseye. You can hit it once, but can you do it over and 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 over again. That's how you change. That's how you change. So don't just do it one time and think you're done. Okay? So, my question for you, because there will always be a target. What's the target this week, y'all? What's the target? And when I say target, I'm not talking about a size, a feeling, a number of pounds. What's your target behavior? What's the thing that you're going to hit over and over and over and over and over and over again until it sticks? Is it moving your body every day? Water before anything else? Actually drinking all the water you said you were going to drink? All right. What's the target? What's the one thing that you're going to hit every day? Because there's always going to be a target. There'll always be, and even for every target, there will always be distractions trying to get you out of focus. It's the world we live in. If you don't adapt to being a person who can focus in the midst of distractions, you'll always be skipping from this thing to this thing to this thing to this thing. There'll always be a thing. I always say this, life ain't going to ever be like, oh, okay, she's trying to work on a goal. Let me calm down and bring no disruption to her life. Let me remove every obstacle. The people who win are the people who can win in spite of what's going on. When they had every reason to be like, nah, I ain't gonna be able to do that. I talked to a woman this week. She told me she lost the love of her life. And she's still on point. She's still fighting. Don't mean she ain't hurt. She's definitely grieving. For sure grieving. And she's still on point. And she's still showing up, firing every day. You think she ain't had no rough days in there where she missed the mark? But she get back up again tomorrow and do that thing, try again. So I'm saying, lock in. That's me and my son's code one. I need him to, come on, let's get this homeschool done. Lock in, because this is target practice. The truth is, I don't care what you think, this is spiritual. This is spiritual. This is spiritual. And some of us are out here wasting shots. Okay. This ain't even the thing God got for you to do. But it's taking up all your energy, your confidence is tied up in it. How you feel about you, this is emotional. So I need you to show up to this target practice like your life depends on it, because it does. Your very life depends on it. Our life depends on it. So lock in. All right. Lock in. If you need help, I got a free community, Ready, Set, Habits. I need to see you there. All right. That's all I got, y'all. I absolutely love you to life. Okay. I love you enough to help you be well beyond the weight. Even if I got to step on some of your pinky toes. About 3 toes to get it. I will. All right. I love you to life. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time, 4 p.m.-ish. At the same place, these YouTube streets. And if anything I said today was a blessing, please, 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 and please share with somebody you love. See y'all tomorrow.